afternoon. How are you? Good. I see a lot of excitement. We have 3 people talking about government, so we'll see how exciting we can make it. I promise it can be. Eleni, Janis. I'm with the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and I'm I would say entrepreneur and entrepreneur. I was saying earlier today that I've never inherited a job in my life. So I've either actually built a team or a new unit, or built an organization, co-founded an organization, and that's, even in government, I managed to do that. So I'm currently building a new team that is looking at creating innovative partnerships between the public and private sector, domestically and globally. And things I love are speed of mind, that I'm sure that all of you here have, creativity and strategic rigor, and I look forward to seeing how we can work together to support and enable your success.
Thanks. Hello everyone, my name is Kadishson. I'm the Director of Economic Development in the New York City Mayor's Office for International Affairs. So the Mayor's Office for International Affairs is the city's liaison to the international community, the UN, the missions to the UN, the consulates, the trade commissioners that are here. We also serve as a best practices sharing platform for us to kind of share what the city's doing well in our programs and ideals, and then also learn from cities and countries around the world about how they're tackling the common challenges that we face. And lastly, we do joint programming and partnerships with the international community. So I think we'll probably get into some of the ways that we help startups go global, and I'll turn it over there.
Okay, well, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. I wanted to ask you all a question first. Who here can tell me what Google's revenues were in 2015? Someone guess. How about you?
A lot.
Yes, it was a lot.
A percentage of everything everybody does.
Yes, not as big a percentage as they might like, but it's a large percentage. It was $74.5 billion in 2015. So that's a lot. So now, who here can tell me what the New York State government's budget was in 2015? And I'm going to save you all the embarrassment. It was $150 billion. So the budget of New York State government was twice what Google took in last year. So what I'd like to understand is that there's a matter of scale here. Government can help you. Government has very big toys. It has significant constraints, but the other great thing about government for you is that government's going to help you for free. And no one but your parents are going to help you for free in this particular endeavor. So while you're listening to us, hopefully we'll be mercifully brief, think, how can I get free stuff from them to help my business? Because that's what government in this case is meant for. They're going to help you, give you free stuff, because they want you to succeed, and it's illegal for them to take anything from you. So, while you're listening to them, think, how can I get free stuff from them? So, to start off, Eleni, what do you do all day?
What do I do all day? Myself and my colleagues, we work on creating conditions in New York City for both legacy industries here to continue to grow and adapt to disruption or innovation, but also cultivating conditions for emerging industries or growing industries. For example, EDC has seeded 17 incubators and co-working spaces. And we did that when there were maybe only 2 in the city back in 2009 or 2010. Now there are 100 incubators in the city. This is a prime example of what EDC does to help entrepreneurs. We mostly focus on entrepreneurs to find the space they need, affordable space, to find programming, so business consulting, and access to markets or access to funding. Incubators is a prime example of where we intervene when the market is not giving you the support necessary because it's not developed enough. We also have funds. So about 7 or maybe a year ago, we launched a $150 million fund for early growth life sciences biotech companies. We're currently in the process of launching a $150 million fund to support advanced manufacturing. And we have several programs, 6-month or year-long programs across different industries, where we offer entrepreneurs a comprehensive package of support, including, again, maybe business consulting, access to markets, and other affordable space, incubator type of programming.
before you continue?
Yes.
Sorry. I'm a very simple-minded person, and what I heard from Eleni is, here's what she can offer you. Space, networks, information, and sometimes money. I don't know, I've worked with a lot of startups. Those are 4 things you generally need. So you might want to go talk to her afterwards. So Danny, what do you do all day?
So the first thing I do is I work with international companies that are exploring entering New York City. But more relevant here, I also work with New York-based companies that are looking to go global. So I build and maintain relationships for the city with the network of trade commissioners, international investment agencies, bilateral chambers of commerce that are here in New York City that can facilitate that inbound and outbound work. So to quickly go over a couple of the ways that we can help startups go global. So the first one is we can act as Sam has said, sort of a free consultant. We can help you think about strategy, what boxes do you need to check, where do you start, and give some insights on the different challenges and opportunities in different countries that you're exploring. The second thing we can do is help you navigate the bureaucracy. So there are some incredible programs that the state and the federal government run. We can try to point you to the right one, make the introduction to an actual human, and then hand you off to the right person. And the last one, I think what is probably most unique to New York City is we can actually introduce you to representatives of the governments you're exploring entering here in New York. So there's over 100 trade commissioners, there's the international investment agencies. So these are representatives of those governments that are based permanently here in New York. And I think it's a tremendous asset that's pretty unique to New York, and I would strongly recommend taking advantage of that. So you can have these meetings at the cost of a subway ride rather than actually going to those countries. And the fact that it is so low cost to you also means you can walk away if it's not the right fit. So it puts you in a better position if you're taking these meetings in New York, and we're happy to facilitate that. And the last thing I'll say is just that I think, if you're purely exporting, we can certainly help you with that. And I know Peter can, and there's a lot of expertise up here on that. If you are looking at sort of entering a new market and establishing a presence there, unless your plan is to break into the market, gain consumers, and then fight the political battles that you're expecting, unless you have the Uber war chest to kind of follow that model, I think it makes sense in a lot of cases to engage with the government early and try to do it ahead of time from here, from home, before you enter. We're happy to facilitate that on exporting. We're happy to help anyone. If you're actually expanding, we would really only work with companies from New York that are committed to staying in New York, so their international growth is going to come to the benefit, not the detriment of their New York presence. But yeah, doors open, really happy to help.
So I hope to some extent you understand that government can actually help you and not necessarily just be a barrier to your growth. Startups, the ones that I've worked with, have generally seen government as an obstacle. I want to grow faster. I want to do this. I want to do that. I have to worry about this zoning regulation. I have to worry about registering at this place. And this is yet another thing that stops me from doing what I want to do. I know one of the most frightening phrases in life is, they're from the government and they're here to help. But in this particular case, if you, creative entrepreneurial minds that you are, can figure out a way, they will help you. They want to help you. You can meet with them individually and they'll tell you the different things they can offer you, and you will get it for free. And I'm going to keep coming back to that free thing, because with my clients and in my experience, free is a really good price tag. So with that, who wants free stuff? Okay. Now, does someone have a question for our two lovely representatives? I'll take that as a no for now. But Danny, when it comes to going overseas, how can you help New York City companies? How can you help startups? A, think about it, and then B, actively help them.
Sure. So I think one of the main ways we can be helpful is helping you figure out where to start if you haven't done this before. Help you create a checklist, and also get to maybe a short list of countries. You look at the map and it's maybe a little overwhelming. I think we can help you narrow it down both with our own experience, but also by connecting you to the data resources that can help you kind of do it empirically. Beyond that, I really do want to come back to what I think is so special about New York, and something that we have done in the past, So for example, we had a New York company that was exploring a joint venture in a pilot program in another country. And they had the partner, they had the local government support, but they were facing just sort of glacial speed in the bureaucracy of approving that project. I reached out to the representative of the national government of that country, who's based here in New York, with whom we have a relationship, knowing that the product that this New York company provides is one that the national government is very interested in. And he was very happy to make contact and try to move it forward through the bureaucracy. Also, we have relationships with Chinese cities that we've been building in part just so that we can kind of find a softer landing for New York companies. It's not always going to work. It's not going to be the right fit for everyone. But we build these relationships in part so that you find a softer landing than you might without those kind of introductions.
And I just wanted to add to that we recently launched the Global Exchange Program that you might have heard Kathleen from our agency talk about earlier. So the Global Exchange Program is an exchange between cities. Currently we have an active exchange between Paris and New York City, where we send startups here, and startups there, and a set of startups from Paris came to set up shop here. And we are active with also an exchange with Milan. So and the applications I believe are currently open. If you are considering Italy as a market, please do ask me or go to our website, edc.nyc.
So does anyone have any questions?
So first off, thank you for this panel. And I think my main question is, how do we leverage the opportunities that you do have? Because private incubators, accelerators, they launch pitch competitions, they have conferences, they have events. Whereas if I didn't come to this event, I would have known it. It's not you guys hosting it, it's these partners. And so how do we have like actually a seasonal or a quarterly way of engaging with the program that you have, as opposed to have to check the site every once in a while and hope that there's something there?
Yeah, a couple of ways. First of all, if you simply sign up for a newsletter, we will find you and let you know. That's like just a basic but really effective way of doing it. And then a lot of our programs are run in collaboration by third-party operators, and these are actually folks that you likely know, or they are in the networking events you are going. I can see one of them here, who runs, if you're in media, she runs the Media Center, the New York City Media Center, which is an incubator and programming space for media and content-related startups. So definitely, you will get to find on our website, and if you just speak to me and my colleagues, all the programs we do, and then network, and then hopefully, and I do believe they do, a good job our third-party operators, because they're in the private sector, like you are, finding you and reaching out to you so that you know about these events and the opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think for a lot of early stage companies, I think knowing and learning about the resources that are available is difficult, and it's intimidating as well because there's so many different ones. I think, I'm with the US Department of Commerce, and part of the advantage, I'm one of like 80 offices domestically. So in whatever state you are, your company, you will have like an account manager such as me that will be able to kind of manage your relationship. And what we do is we provide you with an access to our network of embassies and consulates around the world, to any market that you could think of. And what they provide as a service, and not entirely free, but on a cost recovery basis, so the government does charge on occasion. We can help you identify partners, distributors, potential customers in those markets. So if you're looking to go to China, if you're a New York City company, you come to me, and my colleagues in Beijing and Shanghai can help you to identify those distribution channels. So that's an incredible service for exporters. Part of the reason that we're running this program today is to engage with startup companies earlier in their life cycle, to try and encourage them to think global. Another area of resource that you have is state government, and pretty much all state governments have some sort of international division. So you're looking at it from a city perspective, and New York City is fortunate; it has a very strong city government and strong city government in terms of its international focus. But each state has its own international division, which also has offices overseas in the major markets. Usually they don't have obviously the bandwidth that Commerce has, but they may also have some funding mechanisms too, so some small grant funding to be able to help you attend that trade show internationally. to visit that trade show. So that can really help, especially if you're an early stage company, to go and travel, visit that market, and identify those relationships. So in terms of navigating it, I think it's difficult to navigate. It's part of the reason we're doing this outreach here today, promoting it, is to get that message out there. But once you do learn about this opportunity, I would say pursue it aggressively, because there's a lot of different resources there. From, you come to me and you suddenly get open to those distribution channels, but you also get open to export credit insurance, which is a small business. If you're exporting to a market and you get in trouble with an order or a customer that's not paying, that can be the death of your business as an early stage business, or really put you in serious trouble. And knowing and learning and having these tools available that you may not think of at this stage, and becoming aware of them, is really critical to your continued success.
Just to add one thing there. So one city resource that we have that coordinates across agencies and the private sector is called digital.nyc. And it was alluded to earlier, but what's so tremendous about that is that we're taking private sector events, incubators, accelerators. We're also putting on government incubators, accelerators, all of the programs we have. And so if you're on their news list, you're going to find out about things that are across agencies. So EDC runs the most incredible programs, but so does the Department of Small Business Services in the city. And so by going to digital.nyc, you're going to find out about their programs too. I'm thinking of one called Women Entrepreneurs NYC that just launched a couple months ago. Tremendous program to connect younger women entrepreneurs or newer women entrepreneurs with those more established mentors, resources, training, and it's something the city's really proud of. It's going to be listed on a public site like that.
Thank you.
Next question.
So when you wrapped up Eleni's introduction, you said that she has squeezed networking in dollars to offer. It's very vague, but could you comment further on how you work with
EDC, I work at the New York City Economic Development Corporation.
Yeah.
And would you want to know more about my job specifically, or
how? Because I understand how to work with Danny, and I know Peter from he's helping me before. But
so
now,
how you can work with us?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a series of entrepreneurship programs, which is what I mentioned before, maybe 3 to 6 months to a year-long programs to support entrepreneurs. You have to apply. Most of them are either on an annual basis or biannual, depending on the length of the program. So you have to apply for the program, and if you're accepted, you participate. And these are comprehensive programs. For example, I'm thinking of eLab, which is a program specifically targeted to biotech. Most of our entrepreneurship programs are industry specific, because it makes a lot more sense if you're in a group of people who are all working in the same industry, and then we can provide you with customized support. So applying for programs is a major one. Then if you're seeking funding, and we have funds and structures that are relevant to what you're doing, then you just call us up, or you just can ask me what we have. We have a team that works on investments, and they will go through the process with you. They will ask you questions, and they will support you, because we don't expect entrepreneurs to actually understand credit. Some people do, and that's great, but most people don't. So we will help you understand the process, and then help, and then see if you qualify, or we'll tell you, look, right now you're not in that position yet, but come back then when you have that. And this is maybe where you can also get the support, right? And some of and we work. You will find that support both internally, but also through the partners that we work with, and we will just guide you through the process.
I just want to follow up on something that was mentioned about New York State. I used to run the international division for New York State, and they had 22 foreign offices around the world. So if you're in a New York State-based company, New York State has offices around the world, and there is another branch of government, there's the city and the state and the federal government, that can help you. Not only that, New York State government has grant funds for startup companies as well. You can apply for grants to do international efforts. There are resources out there at the state level. The state agency that you want to look at is called Empire State Development. They've got a website, they've got lots of people working there. Call them up, check it out. email them. They have stuff that can help you. It's probably free. So in that entrepreneurial way, go look at another resource that could help you. It will take you a little bit of time because, government might take a little longer than you're used to, but they're going to give you something for free or much less expensive than you'd get someplace else. And that's probably worth a little bit of your time to focus on. So you've heard from the city, the state has resources, the federal government through the Commerce Department has resources. There's a lot of different places in the government that wants to help you. And just remember, you're probably moving a lot faster than they are because you're working 24/7. Your business is everything to you, and you're working really hard to make that successful. You have to be a little bit patient with government, but as you realize, Google is 75 billion, New York State's 150 billion. Big toys, some constraints, but they can help you.
Yeah, and just to take up on this kind of free or this subsidized, this reduced cost kind of model, I mean, this is not to say that the service that we're offering is specifically from, the federal government, Department of Commerce, our international network of embassies and consulates. It's incredibly high quality service. And in terms of high quality for you as an SME business, as a startup company, and you're looking to identify a partner to work with in China, in India, in Latin America, okay? Very, very difficult for you to navigate, A, who are credible in those markets, who is trustworthy and who is reliable, and B, even if you can identify them, quite difficult for you to secure that meeting independently, okay? You're just a startup company or a relatively new company with no background. They've got the same questions about you. Who are they? What are you doing? So working with me, connecting with my colleagues, commercial officers and international posts in those markets, okay? So suddenly it's not you, SME or startup company reaching out trying to identify this partner. It's a US officer from the embassy in that country reaching out and saying, you should meet with this company, you should connect with them. We have done some degree of vetting and due diligence. We think they're a good company. We think they're a company that's export ready, has export potential, can grow in this market. You should meet with them. That's incredibly valuable for a early stage company to have that and to have that leg up that we provide. I've worked with other governments as well. Companies and countries around the world all do this for their companies, and they do it very effectively. At a larger level, when you're scaling and you've grown, okay, and you're looking at tendering potentially for contracts, government contracts in other markets, working with the public sector, you can use the US Department of Commerce's advocacy services. So you can get the US government up to the ambassador level within that country to advocate for your tender to that government, which can really help you to compete on a level playing field with other countries and other companies within those countries that are growing. So in terms of our model, our service delivery model, you will pay a fee to access our services. That fee is relatively inexpensive vis-a-vis what you would pay private sector people to do, but you get the added cachet and benefits of having US government reaching out on your behalf. And that can really help drive the growth of a small company.
Any questions? Any last questions?
Do you have to be a U.S. citizen to take advantage of these services?
So you just need to have a U.S. company, so a U.S. registered business with 51% U.S. content requirement. Okay, so your technology, your IP, your U.S. content needs to be 51% to access federal government services. State governments may have different requirements. You need to be registered and registered in state, but it's typically there's no citizenship requirement.
Yeah, to say that we would never even ask you the question. But we would like you to have, actually it's necessary to have an address in New York City, and the same for the state in New York State. If you are others, international entrepreneurs who and myself have gone through the process of getting a visa to start your company here, can be very complicated unless you have a big budget. So we actually just also launched a program, it's called Into NYC, the opposite of what we're talking about here today, but it is actually a way that will get you a visa much faster and without $500,000 or $1 million to set up a company here in New York City. And the program again is Into NYC.
Well, that's the end of the panel, and thank you all for your patience, but the one thing I would like to urge you all to do is contact these two people right here, and also our friend here. It's their job to help you. There's not that many people out there whose job it is to help you. So go talk to them and see if they can, see what they have that they can offer you. Thanks very much.